Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I am channeling into the current Twin Flame energies. So I came into like a massive download earlier today. Oh my god, my light just started flicking. And into kind of where the twins are at, where the masculine's at. And we have this powerful Lionsgate portal. We also have the full moon in Aquarius coming up this week. I feel this really is like this gateway of revolution for these divine unions to kind of commence. So I feel the energy is really ideal when it comes to this transformation process for the twins, in order for us to kind of create these new forms for society when it comes to stepping into these higher principles, right? These higher divine principles, and not simply, it isn't just about power and control, right? It's about knowing what is needed for the community and instilling those efforts to make the community a little bit better, right? A lot of the twins have a very high calling when it comes to this awakening, this ascension journey, and this revolution, right, for these new earth energies. And so many of us are coming into our fullest potential, like the awareness of our potential, this portal. And I feel right now a lot of the masculines that have resisted stepping into this calling are being met with feeling very unsupported at this time, which I think is really a necessary part of the transformation journey, right? When it comes to our understanding and how to maximize this expansion journey. And I feel the masculine really is paying back a lot of karma that is balancing out now when it comes to his misuse of influence, his misuse of power in past lives. And I feel this this like unsupportive energy is very necessary in order for that action to kind of be sparked, to be taken. And so I feel this pity party syndrome, I feel, and all of this disorder is existing around the masculine, creating almost like this oversensitivity of rejection. He's so afraid of rejection that he's not willing to step into those highest principles and to kind of come forward like as this crusader towards the divine feminine. And so what I kept hearing was last resort. And so I feel like the universe is kind of stepping in, exhausting all of these resources out of the masculine's life as like this last resort to find resolution, or to, get the masculine back towards like a peaceful avenue with the feminine. And so a lot of changes, a lot of changing, of course, is kind of possible in the energies this week. And I feel the masculine didn't even want to explore any possibility of returning to the feminine because of that deep fear of rejection. So I feel anything is kind of possible in the energies this week. It's all going to depend on where you're at in your own personal journey, in your own processing and stuff, because I do feel a lot of the energies are feeling very overwhelming collectively. There's this deep, impatient urge building, I feel, as we inch closer to the full moon in Aquarius, which is going to be like a big full moon. I believe it's at 21 degrees 19. So we're closing out these cycles of narcissism, egoism, materialism, and greed, right? And so I feel this impatience when it comes to the masculine approaching the feminine with like a form of negotiation, knowing that things kind of got to be put out on the table and negotiated and talked about. And that's a real big fear, I think, for many of the masculines, is stepping into that transparency. And so I feel this very discontent energy, and I feel a lot is kind of being destroyed in the masculine's life, creating all kinds of restrictions that are needing to be removed. It's possible that he will reject this higher principled relationship with the feminine. And we do all have free will, but I feel a lot of Pluto death energy, a lot of savage energy surrounding the masculine, which is eliminating all of these old beliefs permanently and, you know, healing that scar in order to start building the new. And so this deep oversensitivity when it comes to fearing the feminine, rejecting. I also feel the masculines have been very, very much insensitive when it comes to rejecting the karmic platform that he was playing into. So I feel there's a lot of karmic agendas kind of playing out, balancing out, clearing in the masculine's life that will guarantee and ensure this new valued replacement of these family foundations, right? These solid structures, and breaking down the old orders, and you know, getting grounded in these new needs for society, right? Society structures. And what I kept hearing was promises, promises, promises. And so a lot of these masculines did make that higher promise to guarantee that support to the feminine, and they've not stepped into these high possibility timelines yet. And so it's kind of time for them to implement taking some action, right? And so I feel lots being kind of reorganized in the masculine's life in order for this attraction towards the divine feminine. And so he's been like this fence sitter, savvy. He's been like this fence sitter, afraid of committing to the journey, afraid of embracing this transformation for fear of what people might say, savvy. And so it is this oversensitivity to rejection. I think the masculine fears if the feminine were to reject him, it would be fatal. Like, it would be the death of him. And so action is required to expand the support of the mission at this time on the masculine's side, is kind of what I'm feeling. And ultimately, he's going to have to reject all of those lower principles if he is to step into this marriage, this union with the divine feminine, and ultimately step into this tribal hierarchy within the spiritual community. So I feel the universe is kind of asking the masculine to obey, to accept that leadership role for this social change. And I feel like big lessons when it comes to interdependencies, right? I feel a lot of the masculines were very codependent in that false structure. And so a lot of them lost their identity, and they caved to this pressure of, you know, losing their own identity in order to be accepted by their peers, right? And so that's really kept the masculine stuck in this continued state, I think, of mirror reflection in order to, you know, be able to develop beyond that stuckness. Savannah. And so I feel a lot of this acceptance, knowing that, you know, eventually he's going to have to overcome that fear of rejection and step into this service-based mission. And so I feel he's lacking in a lot of dedication when it comes to sharing those resources, which has resulted in a lot of external releasing, right? So I feel a lot has been like protracted from the masculine when it comes to this indecision, right? Of not stepping into this position or complying with the higher soul contract that is to be honored. And so I feel eventually this energy is going to push the masculine into his service mission, into this dedication, and into this communion with the feminine that I feel has been intertwined and maintained on the divine feminine's part. And I feel coming into this acceptance energy and, you know, being a team player and releasing that need for that acceptism from his social group, right? Stepping into cooperating and stepping into true benevolent power. And so I feel the masculine's having a hard time keeping up, because I feel a lot of the feminines are rising very quickly. So if you find like you've been pulled back down a little bit or pulled back into 3D, I felt very disconnected from the journey, from my cards, from my guides, for a good week or so. Definitely very disconnected. And so it can become very frustrating, right? And so I feel many of us are being pulled back into, and it's this energy of seeking out to exalt ourselves from any residual like bitterness or pain or anger or resentment towards the counterpart. And so or any resentment towards where we've had to sacrifice ourselves for this higher purpose, this higher mission. And so I feel the masculine right now is very much attracted towards the divine feminine. He's also very much dissatisfied where he's at in his life now with all of these limitations that others have kind of been putting on him, or so it feels, and getting ready to step into the larger goal with the feminine, I feel. So a lot of this is really self-restraint being mastered, which is a fundamental part of the journey as well of self-mastery, is to keep our own sensitivities restrained and to not be those projectors, deflectors. And so a lot of the masculine's energy right now, they've been self-sacrificing to the point of being very condescending, I feel. And they've lacked a lot of sensitivity, and they've been recluding, right? And this avoidance of contact with the feminine, this deep avoidance, is really created this huge mountain, this huge hill. So I was shown like the Fool card with a great big mountain in front of the Fool. And so the masculine is going internally to find that inner sage right now, to talk to his inner sage, his inner higher self, I feel. And everything that's fueled this avoidance is kind of being dismembered. I feel a lot of the masculines right now are sulking, like a sulking little child when it comes to this self-imposed exile that they've created, that they're kind of sitting in and digesting at this time. And there will be appropriate action once the masculine learns to self-soothe this avoidance of rejection to fuel that action forward, is kind of what I felt in the energies. Savvy's actually just playing around, running and dancing. I'm sure you can hear the techno music in the background. But I'm going to pull a couple cards, guys. So don't mind the distraction in the background. I'm so used to blocking it out. So I feel right now, a lot of the twins, I do feel many of us are hidden in plain sight, scattered all over the world, right? And we are learning that we are here to be those masterful teachers, right? We're here to upheave the status quo. We've got Pluto in retrograde. We've got Saturn in retrograde. So we're upheaving all of these old ways of being, all of these old structures. And so we've been hidden in plain sight for this very moment, for this divine plan to kind of play out, right? And we all awaken to our wisdom at exactly the right divine moment, according to the astrological alignments, right? And so many of us have this higher DNA, this higher cosmic intelligence within our subconscious, within our DNA structure. And I feel there's going to be a lot of destined activations playing out over the coming weeks with these energies as part of this union energy. And so I feel a lot of the divine feminines are coming into that right flow of alignment, which is drawing in that right divine relationship that will bring harmony into our lives. And so I feel a lot of the masculines, as the feminine comes into this perfect alignment, this state of harmony, this state of flow, the masculine is going through this crowning, the initiation. And so crossing that threshold of this rebirth process and taking a seat at the table, at the holy table, you know, at the table with the divine feminine, bottom of the deck, the sun. So this Leo season, huge potential for mass wave divine unions is what I'm feeling as we learn to harness this life force energy and to step into success. Many of us are stepping into success. We've been hidden in plain sight until it was time for us to really harness this ancient power, this ancient expression, this soulful, unconditional expression. And I feel a lot are being activated when it comes to this divine plan, this Lion's Gate. So mass awakenings is another energy coming through. We're going to get some starseed messages. Beautiful. All paths lead to home. And so we got to remember, we came here to Earth School, right? Learn major life lessons. We're experiencing massive bursts of soul growth in the energies. Higher learning, higher study. Many are just embarking upon that higher study journey doing coursework and stuff. I know a lot of the divine feminines I've been working with recently are now experiencing like the drive to expand with some coursework, learning about the chakras. You know, a lot of people come to me and they've never heard of a chakra ever before, and so learning about all of these spiritual parts of our integration journey of being human, right? Coming to Earth School. And so, as well as learning how to trust the intuition and owning our inner authority. So in order to do that, though, we do have to turn that gaze within, right? So we'll see what else needs to come through. So I feel many of the feminines are being activated with their Lightworker Star Seed double mission. So many of us are channelers, healers, guides, and teachers, and we are also here to serve the world by stepping into our most authentic expression. When we completely and utterly accept and love ourselves and step into that most authentic expression, then we activate others to step into their most authentic expression, right? It's like the energy of like crossing paths with the divine feminine, and it's like, oh, I'm trying to think of the words to describe what they're showing me. It's almost like a royalty high, right? Like an activation of this heart energy, right? And so a lot of inner earth is being activated. If you follow the Schumann resonance, things are very high. And so we have to shed these lower dense energies to keep up with this higher frequency, right? So I feel this is where we all loosen that grip on these coping mechanisms, addictions, releasing these dense patterns, and this is where we let God in, right? So let's grab a couple of tarot on the masculine side. Oh, geez. So we got the Wheel reversed, the Ace of Coins reversed, the Page of Coins reversed. So, and the Three Cups. So I think that party's over. I also feel the masculine, you know, like the masquerade is over. There's been a lot of unstable communication. I feel like the masquerade, the party's over. I feel huge like stoppage. Like I feel like the masculine's not making any headway. A lot of challenges, a lot of delays, likely struggling financially because of a huge loss recently. Maybe even a job loss. Oh, look at that. But I do feel this is the opening of the portal gateway for the masculine to plant those seeds well, right? To build that new foundation. So I kind of feel like a lot is being lost. A lot of loss. For the third party energy is what I'm feeling. And I think that's the truth, right? For the fear of commitment, non-committal, I think the masculines are very much angry with themselves, with the fact that they've not taken that action, that heart-centered action. So, and I feel the feminine is just like consciously chosen to release this burden. Many of us have been consciously going through this healing and this releasing journey. And so I feel a huge release of all of, you know, the residual resentment for the manipulation, the lack of coming towards the feminine. And I feel really focused on, you know, leveling up. I feel a lot of the feminines are really, really doing the deep dive, doing the work. You know, when it comes to all of those imbalances, all of those losses or perceived misvictories, right? And so I feel this is where we realign. Many of us are realigning, and we're learning about that core wound and going through another layer of healing as well. So I feel, I'm not sure. Oh, those are furnace filters. I also feel a lot of the masculines are very much on defense as they go through like this emotional breakdown to shift into that higher state of consciousness, because I do feel lots, you know, not working in the masculine's life at this time. A lot is leaving the masculine's life, and I feel, you know, a lot is being rebalanced, karmically rebalanced, and I just feel this lightness surrounding the feminine. I do. I feel like the feminine really figuring out what it is she wants to create for her career path as well moving forward. Really driven and focused on stability is what I feel is going on with the feminine. So let's get one last message with the Astro Oracle deck on the masculine side. And we will get one for the feminine. That's like a huge pile. But obviously there's a lack of balance in the masculine's life. And I feel definitely deep in the shadows of investigating, right? Like deep in the underworld, in that rebirth process. And I feel preparing for that communication when it comes to partnering up with the divine feminine at this time. So what needs to come through for the feminine, please? Oh. And right now, I think a lot of the feminines are just focused on their home. And that's kind of where a lot have been at that I've been in contact with over the last several days. Focusing on the home, cleaning the home, organizing the home, making the home beautiful, and staying grounded. And so really focused on the home, the kids, and building that inner strength.
Where'd you put it?
What did I put what? I'll look for it. So
No, the nail polish.
oh, it's on the counter in the bathroom. And I will do that right next.
Mom.
So I think we're going to go paint our nails, guys. That's kind of what I got for a check-in. I'm sorry about the background noise. It is what it is. I will be back tomorrow with the twin flame forecast. If the internet isn't strong enough, I will pre-record it and upload it. I hope to see you all live. And if you would like to book, check out the description box below. But I will see you all again next time. Thank you.
Now can you